Hello students, good morning. You should have to do your homework which is given by me as we are revising our chapters again from chapter 1. So during the revision, you should thoroughly read your NCERT book. Then you should find out the questions which every day I am writing after giving the homework, that write 10 questions or 5 questions after watching this video. As you have already studied these chapters, so I don't think you have any problems. Clear students? So you try to do yourself. If there is any problem, then we are always with you. Then you can ask us. Clear? If you want to know more, then we will also we can tell you after the opening of school. As we know, we are now lockdown. So through these videos, we are just trying to give our best, and you students also try to take the best and also create some new things. Whether we are saying you to make notes or not make, it's your duty. If you write more, as you know, the better you write, the more you write, the better you remember. So this is the best technique to remember anything, that you write again and again. Don't ask that do we write these notes or not. Okay? And also do the work which is given by me. As you know, science is the most important subject. So if you are not doing from this time, then in future you will face some problems or difficulties. That's why if you clear these problems from your initial time, clear, then this will be very easy for you to study in details. Clear students? So let's start chapter first, means let's continue chapter first, that is life process of class 10. Today we will study about autotrophic nutrition. In the last class I have give you the introduction about nutrition, living and non-living. So in this class we will study autotrophic nutrition. So let's understand what is autotrophic nutrition. As I have told you, auto means self, trophic means feeding or synthesizing. Self-feeding or self-synthesizing organisms means those organisms who can synthesize or make their own food, they are called as autotrophs, and the mode of nutrition is called autotrophic nutrition. Clear? So autotrophic nutrition is shown by green plants. And these green plants, the way through which they synthesize their food is called photosynthesis. Clear? Photosynthesis. The way through which the green plants synthesize their food is called photosynthesis. So why this is called photosynthesis? As the main source is, photo means light. Photo means light. So as the main source is here light, means without light green plants can't synthesize their food. So this process is completely named as photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is shown by green plants. How and why? As green plants have chloroplast or chlorophyll. Chlorophyll, which is green colored pigment. Green colored pigment, and has ability to trap light. Clear students? So autotrophic nutrition is done by green plants through the process that is called photosynthesis, and photosynthesis only green plants can do because of presence of chlorophyll, which seems green in color, and they have the ability to trap light. Any other parts can't trap light. That's why the chlorophyll present in the leaves, and leaves are known as the kitchen of the plant. Means the photosynthesis, like in your homes, your mother makes food in the kitchen. Same in a plant, the leaves are the kitchen. Means inside leaf, photosynthesis or food preparation by plant is occurred. So let's understand what happens during photosynthesis and which substances are necessary during photosynthesis. Clear? So for photosynthesis, the plant require some inorganic substances like your carbon dioxide, water, as here told you, sunlight, and the most important, chlorophyll. Clear? Without these, plants can't synthesize their food. Carbon dioxide is taken from the air or atmosphere, water from the soil, sunlight is from sun, and chlorophyll present in the leaf. This is present in leaf, this is from sun, this is from soil, and this is from air. So using these things, plants synthesize carbohydrate or glucose type of food. Clear? Using these raw materials, these are the, we can say, these are the raw materials. Suppose your mother is making chapati. For making chapati, which materials she needed? She needed flour, wheat flour, atta. She needed water. Whether salt is added or not, that's not important. But the basic requirement is here. The wheat flour means atta and pani. So, after mixing the water and wheat flour, the chapatis are made by the help of, this is called your fry pan or tawa. If there is no tawa or fry pan is present, is it possible to make rotis or chapatis? So here, sunlight acts as your gas stove. Without gas stove, we can't, or without chula, you can't make chapatis. That's why during the photosynthesis process, plants use carbon dioxide, water, sunlight, and chlorophyll. They combiningly form glucose or carbohydrate. So how this process occurs? CO2 plus H2O gives rise to, in the presence of sunlight and here chlorophyll. As we know, chlorophyll will trap sunlight, and then carbon dioxide and water are combined to form glucose, C6H12O6. C6H12 and O6. This is the formula for glucose, and 6O2. As we know, during photosynthesis, oxygen is released. So here, in chemistry, you have studied the balancing equation. So here 6CO2 plus 6H2O gives rise to C6H12O6, which is called as your glucose. Here, green plants makes glucose. They use them for their maintaining their life processes, means for different activities, and the remaining food material which is stored in the form of starch in different parts of the plant, like in stem, in root, or any other parts. So plants synthesize glucose but stored in the form of starch. You should remember this. Plants synthesize glucose but stored in the form of starch. Where it's stored? It's stored either in root, stem, leaf, etc. And when there will be no photosynthesis occur, then the movement of these starch or food from root, stem, leaf to different parts of the plant occur. So here next topic is what happens. There is the duster. What happens during the process of photosynthesis, or which events takes place during the process of photosynthesis. Here some processes are occurred. We can see first what happens. Absorption of light energy or sunlight. Absorption of sunlight by chlorophyll, the first step of photosynthesis. Question will come, which events takes place during photosynthesis? The question will come, or the question may be, which events takes place during photosynthesis? Which events takes place during photosynthesis? Then first you have to write absorption of light energy by chlorophyll or sunlight by chlorophyll. Then carbon dioxide is reduced to carbohydrate, means the glucose we get, that is due to carbon dioxide, means CO2. So here we can write CO2 is reduced to form carbohydrate. As we know, glucose is a form of carbohydrate, simple form of carbohydrate. Third, what happens? As we see in the reaction that oxygen is released. Oxygen is released. So from where this oxygen come? This oxygen is come from the splitting of water. So third event, the splitting of water. Splitting of water means breakdown of water in the presence of sunlight, means light breaks water into H2 and O2. H2 and O2. So here the oxygen during photosynthesis is released due to breakdown of water. So third event is splitting of water into hydrogen and oxygen. Then fourth, what happened? As we see here, chemical reaction occurs, means combination of water, carbon dioxide to form glucose, sunlight and chlorophyll are used as your catalyst. So this is a chemical reaction. So we can say conversion of light energy into chemical energy. Here what happened? Conversion of light energy into chemical energy. So this is how green plant synthesize its food. So we can see here the diagram of a leaf, cross section of a leaf, that which parts are responsible for synthesizing food. If you see the diagram, this is the transverse section of a leaf. You can see this contain the vascular bundle, this is phloem, and this part is called xylem. Clear? This is lamina, leaf lamina. This part is midrib. This part is vein. This part is midrib and this part is vein. And in the veins and in midrib, we know that vascular bundles are found. And on the upper part of the leaf, this is called upper part of the leaf, that is upper epidermis. Upper epidermis. And the lower part of the leaf is called lower epidermis. We can see here, this part is lower epidermis. Just below the epidermis there is presence of, you can see the diagrams, within the upper epidermis and lower epidermis there is presence of chloroplast. They are present like this. There is presence of chloroplast, and during their arrangement some space are present. These are called the intercellular space. Intercellular space, and they are chloroplasts. Here guard cell is also present. This helps in the opening and closing of the stomata, and around on the guard cell chloroplast is present. It also traps light and helps in the process of photosynthesis. So students, you can see the upper epidermis contains waxy cuticle. Waxy cuticle means if you fold a leaf and tear it, then you can see a transparent membrane, that is the waxy cuticle, which prevents from excess loss of water during transpiration. So these are the different parts of a leaf through which photosynthesis occurs. Basically photosynthesis occurs in the chloroplast, and the stomata here I showed you helps in the opening and closing of guard cell, which covers the stomata. It helps in the opening and closing of stomata during gaseous exchange and photosynthesis. Due to stomata, the transpiration rate also controlled. Transpiration means loss of water in the form of water vapor. As we know, during daytime when photosynthesis occurs, the stomata get opened. Due to open stomata, the transpiration rate also increase, and due to transpiration our surrounding get cooled, and rain formation also occurs. So plants not only synthesize their food for us, but also they help us in various ways, and they are so much important for us. Without plants we can't survive, because they are the producers and the main source to give us food either directly or indirect.